Hey YouTube family, I hope you are doing well today. If you are looking to become a Squarespace designer, this video is for you. I'm going to provide you with a list of resources and tools that you'll need to get started on your process of becoming a designer. So if you're just doing your first few freelance projects, you're just starting out, all of these tools that we're going to talk about, I think there's about 5, maybe 6 sections we're going to cover in this video. This is going to be a hefty video. All of this information is going to help you get started in the right way, save time, and a bunch of other stuff. So you're going to become a better designer as well. So with that said, just know this as well. I want to be very clear from the beginning. I have a product that is going to offer you all of these pieces for you to start out from the beginning. So it's really affordable. It's a great product. It's a great tool. I am going to provide extreme value in this video and cover all the topics and details. So if you want to take it and go run with it on your own, find your own resources, all of that, good. Like literally, I love it. But if you want help, check out the link below. There's a product there for you. Also, if you do stay till the end of the video or just fast forward to the end of the video, there is a promo code there that if you use that promo code, you will get free access to my SEO course. So stay tuned. So we're going to be spending some time together. I'm going to try to go through this stuff quickly, but at the same time, go grab your coffee, get your notes ready. We're going to be covering a lot of details. Okay, so the first thing you're going to need when you get on a phone call with the client, you're going to need a list of questions to ask the client to make sure you understand the project before you say yes, before you quote it, and before you start talking about money, which is a big deal. So the first thing you're going to need is a list of questions that you're going to use when you do your first intro phone call. When you do the phone call, you want to find out, is the project appropriate? What are the client's expectations? You also want to find out how to scope the project and also set a clear budget for the project so you don't overpromise something that you don't want to deliver or can't deliver for that price. So here are a few questions that I love to ask during the first call. The first one is not a question, it is being personable. I try to be as human as possible. I ask where they're located, what the weather is, something like that. So the first question I really ask them is, what is the project? Even if they sent me an email with some notes, I still ask them, what is the project about? And from there, I ask them why they're engaging in the project now. Following up, I'll ask them why they want to use Squarespace. And as we go through the conversation, I want to find out what their goal is. So I may ask them upfront and say, what is your goal for this project? Make sure, this is the key, make sure you understand the goal of the project, the problem that is being solved before you start trying to solve the problem. Otherwise, you might miss the client or you might be trying to solve the wrong problem with the wrong solution. So find out what the problem is and then address the problem specifically. Other questions I may ask will be around, do you have the content ready? How many pages do you think the site will be? When do you want to get the site up and live? Are you the final decision maker? Do you have a brand, logo, and fonts? And the final question for now in this section is going to be, what is your budget? Depending on where you're at in the journey, this question is really important that you get to this question. So you might not start here, but you do want to get to this question. And just as a side note, I literally have a ton of resources about this stuff. So I have a video that's published on the channel about this intro call that's 3 times as long as the section I just went over. So go check out that video in the description below. You could learn more. So that is part 1. You're going to need a list of questions to use while you're on the call as you go through the project with a client. Following, you're going to need a proposal to send to the client. The proposal I use has about 4 to 6 sections. The first one is an overview, just talks about the project, the brief, this is what we're doing, and it includes the URL in that part of the proposal. So we make sure we're on the same page for the project. Next, I really emphasize expertise and background. I show the client that I've done a lot of work. I show the client a few testimonials, and this is all in the proposal. I show the client a few emails that they can message people and say, hey, I see that you've worked with David before. How did the project go? You may not have this yet, but once you get it, once you get started and you start landing clients, you want to use those clients as referrals or testimonials. Next, I have a section called Why You. Basically, why do you want to work with David? And I give them 5 to 7 reasons. I take this seriously. When we start the project, we're going to make sure we see it to the end. This is not my first time around. I've done this many times before, so you are in good hands. So I list off some other things like my clients are like family to me. No formalities here. So be open, be honest, tell me what you like, tell me what you don't like. So I list off a few things there to make the client really comfortable. Clients don't just buy into what you do, they also buy into why you do it. So it's really important to share that. I also do charity work, and so I talk about that in my proposal. Following is the investment. You want to break down the details of the project. Each project for me has about 10 to 15 details. We are building about 10 pages for the site. We are going to set up e-commerce. We are going to make sure your email newsletter is set up. We're going to make sure that you launch correctly. We're going to make sure your SEO is set up. We're going to make sure that you understand the content management system. We're going to give you 30 to 60, maybe even 90 days of support after the project, and so on and so forth. In this part of the proposal, you want to detail what you're delivering, and also this is a great spot to define scope. I mentioned just about 10 pages, plus or minus a page or a section. This really helps me in the project if the client goes really crazy or wants to, and what I mean is they want to make every page look like the homepage and have 20 sections, then I could say, look, it's 10 pages with 2 long format pages and 8 regular pages. So I could clarify that in the investment section so the client knows what they're getting, and it's easy for me to point back to it if the project gets out of hand. Next up is the project process. So you want to let the client know what is the process of the project. I have 4 parts to my process that I walk through, which is creating the first draft, then delivering it, and then from there, part 2 is the first revision, which I call the major revision. Part 3 is the second revision, which I call the minor revision, and then part 4 is training and launch. You want to define that for the client, because if they start to go on their own process, you could point them back to it and say, hey, look, actually we work on this process. So that step 4 that you want to do now, we actually cannot do that until we finish step 1, 2, and 3. Next, I have a simple section that goes like this. It just says what's next. You always want the client to know exactly where they are in the project. Hey client, I just delivered this. It's the first revision. I want you to look it over. And then the next step is to send me your notes for the second revision. Next, this is an important section. You're gonna need terms in your proposal. Terms basically cover how payment works. It'll also cover who owns what. It'll also cover if the project fails, how does that work? You want to detail some of those items so the client knows what to expect, and you also have something to point back to if you get into that position. So for example, my first one is this. Payment structure, 50% of deposit upfront and bi-weekly installments until project is complete. Payment via check or bank transfer. Now, that's for a bigger type of project, but that's what I use. Something similar could be payment structure, 50% upfront and 50% due prior to launch. See, the reason I do this is because I have never not gotten a payment from a client because I'm working with the client's motivation. The client wants to launch, so they make payment right before launch, and that's when I give them ownership of the site and I train them, and then we launch. If we launched, they could possibly wait 2, 3, 4 months before I get payment. And the final section I have is what I call an interaction plan. This is called my sanity plan, basically. I don't let clients text me, especially new clients. If I built a relationship with them and we have a healthy relationship, I'll let them text me. But for the most part, I let clients know if they use my cell phone that it should only be used in emergencies. I also let them know that I work 9 to 5, Monday through Friday or Monday through Thursday. So they know what my schedule is. I don't want them emailing me at 6 o'clock on a Tuesday saying, hey, can you hop on a call right now? Especially if it's not an emergency. 99% of what clients think is an emergency is not an emergency. And the final tip there is, even if the client says, yes, I'll move forward with the project, make sure they sign that proposal before moving forward. So those first 2 were a lot of information. Take a break, come back. But what I would say now for these next 4, we're gonna go through these a little bit faster. So the third thing we're gonna cover is the template I have in my Squarespace account. I highly recommend that you do not start with a demo site again and again and again for every new project. Create a template that has the core elements in there, maybe some basic code elements, things like that in there. So all you have to do is click the 3 little dots, duplicate the website, and you start 10 steps ahead. For example, I have a design page in there that has all the 10 different styles of design that I could use on the site with elements already pre-built on it. So then when I go into site styles and start adjusting it so it goes for the look and feel I want, it literally just takes me seconds to do rather than hours. So you want that set up. Alongside that, you need tools to help you find good colors and good fonts quickly and easily. I have a list of my favorite fonts always ready for me, and I also have a list of colors, major colors that I really like, or variants of major colors that I really like for clients that I can start with, and then use tools like coolers and go in there and adjust and create a color palette for a client so fast. Most of these things that I'm talking about sound like big parts of the project, but for me, I could do the whole design part in less than 30 minutes, from choosing colors, choosing fonts, and getting the site exactly where I want it, literally in less than 30 minutes. And you're talking about, this is something I used to waste hours on, so much time, because it felt as if I need to recreate the wheel every time. But there are principles in design that you can use to start out. You definitely want to have an understanding of who the client is, but having some really standard, beautiful, upscale fonts to start with and knowing how to use them is a great place to begin. Which this leads us into the next one. So there are probably 5 to 10 design tools that I use. I mentioned a few so far briefly, but let me go over them now. The first one is going to be Coolers. Coolers is a great place to find colors and create a color palette for your client. The next one would be Landbook. Landbook shows you some of the most beautiful websites on the internet. And now their tricks and tips and tools and how they make their sites are like way beyond what Squarespace can do. But it's a really good mental space to start with something gorgeous and beautiful, see how it's built, so that when you go to design, you're starting at a high level of inspiration. Next, there are a few extensions you're gonna want. One of them is gonna be the Squarespace block identifier. That's gonna help you when you're coding sections. There's 2 of them out there. They're both free. Download both of them. You also are gonna need imagery. So you could go to unsplash.com or Pixels or any other site that gives you free high quality imagery, and make sure you have those bookmarked for easy access. Now, the last tool I do want to talk about that I need to mention is going to be Paste. If you've never used Paste before, it will radically change the way you use your computer. Paste basically saves all your copy and paste items, and it does it in such an easy and user-friendly way for you to access them. So if you copy something and then you copy something else, you actually have access to that old thing you copied, and it helps you just stay organized. I absolutely love Paste. Even if I was not a website designer, I would still use Paste. Next, let's talk about plugins. Now, plugins are all over the internet. There are a ton of Squarespace plugins. There are a lot of free plugins, but there's a core 10 to 15 that I use on almost every single site. They're little details that make the site more beautiful, more user-friendly, and just a really gorgeous experience. These plugins help you use custom fonts or add Google icons to your site, or setting up your site so there are no underline marks under hyperlinks. That's just native in Squarespace, and it's really not the most beautiful. So you can make customizations to that. There's also a lot more. Now, this is definitely part of my product, a lot less part of this video, but if you're looking for tools like that, we have a whole list of them. Some of them we do just give out for free, but if you go to our website, we also have each one individually for sale. So there is one more I want to cover now, and I just realized that actually over time, there may be a few more things we add to this tool, because realistically, I'm going to think of new things, or designers, up and coming designers will ask me questions, and I'm going to add more and more to this toolkit, because the more I could help you get started, well, the better you're going to start, the quicker you're going to find joy in delivering amazing projects. So for me, this is amazing. Like, this whole experience is amazing to get people up and running quickly. So the last one we're going to cover is SEO. But I do know I have a section on principles in here. I also will be adding a section on upsells that you can do for your project. And there's other stuff that I don't even know right now that I know we will add later. We have an SEO audit tool on our website that is completely free that you can use to optimize your clients' websites, learn how to do SEO for your clients' websites, and that can be part of your project and or an upsell for your client. Again, all of these things are going to help you be a better designer. So our designer starter kit really is here to save you tons of time, thousands of hours, I would imagine. This is stuff I've learned over 5 years that I am condensing into a product for you. At the same time, it's going to help you double your rate, and it's going to help you build your expertise and confidence as you work with new clients. Now, if you have any questions, drop it in the comments below. And if you got value from today's video, which I really hope you did, hit that like button. If you got to this part of the video, hit that like button. I did tell you there's a surprise or a promo code, and I'm gonna share that promo code with you now. But hit that like button if you got value from this content. It tells the YouTube algorithm some fancy stuff, but it lets me know that you got value from this video. Finally, subscribe if you are looking to become a designer. We publish new videos every single week on making you a better, stronger, and faster website designer on Squarespace. So, time for that promo code. The promo code is this: start with SEO. That is gonna give you free access to our $149 SEO course that over 300 people have gone through. And at the same time, it's the same principles we use to do SEO for over, I think it's about 500 to 600 clients that we've served in the last 12 months. So use that promo code and you will get free access to that course alongside everything else in the designer starter kit. All right, that's enough for today. If you have any questions, drop it in the comments below, but I will see you guys in the next video. Peace.